Welcome to another Golden Conversations brought to you by Golden Designs. Every second and fourth Tuesday of each month, this is where all the seniors come to know the latest within the senior community. Thank you so much for joining us on another Golden Conversations. On this evening's program, I am so excited. Let me tell you, this woman, she is a champion for retirement, and we love her even more within the Golden Designs community. She has been there at the beginning for us. She has been one of our strong motivation. She has been one of our coaches. She has been so much to us within the Golden Designs community, and it is our indeed pleasure, awesome pleasure to have with us this evening none other than who we call the queen of retirement, Mrs. Patricia Reid-Waugh. Hi, Auntie Pat.
Good evening, Shellyan, and good evening to your community, to one and all. Thank you for having me. I am so excited to be here. I love talking to you young people, about retirement. So, it's great to be here.
Awesome, awesome. Well, hopefully, I am not the only young person you have joining us this evening, but most times our followers, our viewers, our watchers are persons at your age and also older. We usually tend to have retirees as well as old people and older adults who we welcome. But of course, this information is for everybody. So before I get into it, just remember to send the link to your friends, to your family. Everybody can join. We are indeed going to have a wonderful conversation as we learn and have fun. Let me tell you some more about why we love this awesome woman in our midst today. Ms. Reid-Waugh is a retired chartered accountant. She is the author of two books, Retirement and New Adventure, which she will tell us some more about in the program, and also Retirement, The Journey and Destination, a planning guide, her most recent book that was released just a few months ago. This book outlines the essential considerations in planning for a happier and healthier retirement. In Mrs. Reid-Waugh post-retirement career as a retirement coach, she designs and delivers presentations for retirement seminars and workshops put on by corporations and other organizations. So you can see why she's the expert on retirement coaching. She leads by example, so she is what we would call a retirement academic. She has pursued many hobbies and continued to learn many new skills well into her 60s and 70s. Patricia has earned gold and silver medals for entries in the Jamaica Cultural and Development Commission speech and creative writing competitions in her 60s and 70s, and her 2019 award-winning poem, Keep We Culture Alive, is included for anthology 100 plus voices for Miss Lou poetry, tributes, interviews, essays that has recently been published by the University of the West Indies Press. Miss Reid-Waugh is a member and board director of the Caribbean Community for Retired Persons. Miss Reid-Waugh, tell us, how do you find the time to still be young and sprucey?
Well, you just have to keep it moving. As I tell people, you just get up every day and you get on with the business of living.
Get on with the business of living. But before
All
we
about.
all about that, You mentioned something very critical there. You just get up every day and get about the business of living. What is it about you? What is it, that mindset that tells you that every day when you wake, it's going to be YOLO? You're going to live it as if it is your last day.
Actually, I think it's just my personality. I have always been a very optimistic person. I've always been someone who wants to get the most out of a day. And that's one of the things about your life in retirement. Essentially, how you were before is how you are going to be now. So
Mm.
if you're boring, if you're isolating, if you don't have any friends, you're not engaged with anything productive apart from just working, but then when you retire, that essentially is going to be your life. So
Mhm.
I think what has happened is that my life now mirrors what it was then. It's just a different type of activity that I'm engaged in now, but
Mhm.
it's the same mindset. And as somebody who has had significant health challenges, I've always tried to live each day as if it's my last day, because frankly, I never expected to be alive at this age. I thought I would have long gone.
Oh wow. And we're indeed happy to have you, and for you to be sharing your expertise and your journey with us. And I guess that forces me to ask you, what is your definition of retirement?
Oh boy. Well, it's not so much a definition. I would say it's a perspective. My perspective of retirement is that this is no time. It's not the end. It's actually the beginning. And it's now time for you to take off all the old tires of your life. So you used to work, you were working hard, you had your profession, you had your children to take care of, you had the responsibility of the mortgage and all those things that you had in past years. It is now time for you to take off those old tires, because life has now moved on for you, and you're ready now to embark on a new stage of life, because your children are grown, so they can take care of themselves, and you're not in the job anymore. You probably would have paid off your mortgage by this, and so life is going to be different for you now. So you're going to be putting on some new tires on your life, where you are now ready for a different sort of adventure. You're ready, maybe to travel a little more, to discover new things, discover new places, discover things about yourself, your hidden talents. Now it's time for you to start looking at your creative
Desires.
activities, and
Mm-hmm.
yes, what you're good at, what you love, the things that you love, and you start pursuing all of that. And that is where we're talking now about the new tires that you're going to put on your life, and you're going to find a lot of enjoyment in these new things.
That's what I wanted to talk about, because you wrote a book about retirement and new adventure. Tell us about some of those adventures that you have been on since retirement.
Okay. Well, for instance, in the book itself, the first chapter deals with traveling. So because we have a little more time now, we're able to move a lot more freely. You don't
Mm,
have to run to come back to work. You probably
right.
have family that's overseas that you can go and you can see them. But
Mm-hmm.
traveling also is inside your own country. because there is so much to see and enjoy in this country of Jamaica where we are at.
Vacation.
So
Mm-hmm.
staycation, and there are a lot of no cost and low cost experiences that we can really take advantage of. So that's a part of the adventure. The other aspect of it is learning to play a musical instrument. And
Mm.
so, the violin has been the one, and the steel pan. Those are the two instruments that I have
You learned
learned.
how to play the steel pan? That's what you're telling us?
And yes, I'm on a steel band now. I'm on the Church of the Transfiguration Steel Orchestra. I was at rehearsal last night.
Orchestra. Okay.
Yes,
Congrats.
yes. I love to say that it's not just a band, it's an orchestra. But no, I learned to play the steel band just a couple of years ago. I started, and it has
Mhm.
been just a really glorious experience. I just love it. And
Okay, so you
well,
have traveled, you have learned how to play an instrument. Well, not only one, but several instruments. What
right,
other
and
adventures you
then
have been on?
we have the hobbies, of course, and
Mm-hmm.
I have been building out my hobby of writing. uh,
Mm.
because as you heard, I actually have been entering the JCDC competitions, and I entered the speech competition. I entered the creative writing competition. The last competition, which last year, 2021, I got two silvers and a bronze medal for the three poems that I had entered. So these are the things. I also, the whole aspect of volunteering, which is
Mm-hmm.
very important, because it's very important for us at this stage that we take the focus off ourselves and put the focus on others. Because if we have the focus on ourselves, our aches and pains, and the economy, and the high gas prices,
The wrong
and the high
tires. The
price
wrong
and the high
tires.
price of chicken, and all that is going to weigh us down. So what we need to do is be involved in some sort of a volunteer activity, or even mentorship, where we are mentoring the younger persons, around us, and we can offer them so much. There's a little youngster that loves art.
Mm.
He's a high school student, and he
Right.
loves art. And I one day I took him to the National Gallery,
Mm.
and we had a glorious day at the visit to the National Gallery. He saw all the paintings, and we went into the Edna Manley, the capo room, the Edna Manley room, and
Right.
so he was able to get a lot of ideas which he can now
Mm.
use when he is doing his art in school. And
Right.
then and then that was the same day when the JDF had their open day. They normally have a big
Oh,
parade and open day.
nice. Oh,
And
yes.
so we left the National Gallery, and we went to the open day at the JDF. And we just had a great time. And this was a 15-year-old youngster.
Mm-hmm.
So these are the things that we can do to really
Enjoy
expand and enjoy our years. And as I
retirement
say,
years.
if you are thinking about others, you won't have much time to think about your problems.
It's important though to inform our viewers that the journey of your joys in retirement are not exempt of challenges, because even
Of
early
course
in,
not.
right. So what are some of the challenges that you have encountered as a retiree, and how have you overcome them?
Well, I think my major challenge has been the health aspect of it. And I cannot say that I have overcome it, because I still
So
have,
you manage it then. You
I
manage
still
it.
have significant health challenges. But what
Mhm.
I do is I try to manage it as best I can. I try to do what the doctors tell me to do, although sometimes I don't actually.
Follow the rules. Follow the doctor's
Sometimes
orders.
sometimes I do fall off the wagon, right?
I guess sometimes you have to
In
listen to
terms
your
of
body
that,
as well. Listen to the body.
especially in mango season, right?
Oh my, no,
And,
Antipat. No,
and,
I can't agree
and,
with you right there.
and at Christmas with the Christmas cake, because I was supposed to go and do my blood test, right? Just after Christmas, and I could not go because I know that the results were going to be very bad, right? So I just had to postpone it until, all of that cake and so on came out of my system. But it's really the health challenges that are my major problem, because now it's not too bad, but I did not have health insurance between when I came back to Jamaica 2011, and until the CCRP and Gallagher set up that health insurance policy, I was not able to get health insurance because of my I've had so many surgeries, so a lot of organs are missing, and I have significant health challenges. So the insurance companies would not give me health insurance. They basically refused, turned me down, right? Too many pre-existing conditions, right? So everything had to come out of my savings, and it was a significant chunk of money that I had to spend on healthcare between those years. I had a hospitalization, a week's hospitalization, and I mean, you know, it costs so much money. And another thing is that these doctors, whenever you go to them, everybody wants scans, they want tests, they want MRIs. If your finger hurting you is an MRI, and if your knee hurting you is a scan, and all of that. And these things cost a lot of money. So when you have to bear them out of pocket, it was quite distressing for me. But in 2019, when Gallagher and CCRP set up that health insurance scheme, and they had a 3-month window where you did not have to say anything. If you applied, they accepted you, and therefore I just went and I just applied and I just got the health insurance. So at least that is a little bit of a re- reprieve, but still at the same time.
Commendations to CCRP for having led that charge, so persons like
Yeah.
yourself can now have insurance and can take on the adventures of retirement with more joy and more peace of mind.
But I still say though that the health insurance benefits are not the ultimate. So you still have to dig into your pocket. But it's just that you don't have to dig as deep.
Okay, good, good. So while we're on the topic of challenges, and it's Women's Month. So we are celebrating our women, our outstanding women like yourself. What are some of the mistakes do you see women who are retired make in terms of that is preventing them from having the joys of retirement?
I think the major mistake that women make is that they continue to fund their children and grandchildren. They continue to take their monies and pay for this and pay for that for their children, and then the grandchildren, and sometimes the great grandchildren. So they are paying the school fees for Mona Prep, and all of that. I mean, I just believe that that the children should now take on that responsibility, their responsibilities on their own. And the parents who have done their time, worked hard, done their time, should now use their funds for their own enjoyment, you know, and or even to help them to expand their experiences rather than having to do that. Another thing is the whole aspect of time, because of course, when your children want to go anywhere, they come and they dump the grandchildren on you. So you have to be babysitting, you know, and you know how little children are. They can be, the smaller ones especially. They can be quite, you know,
But
active
but
and
but you're
very
not,
active.
yeah, you're not saying though that moms and grandmas should not support financially or to assist in rearing their children, grandchildren.
I
You're not saying that.
I'm not saying that they shouldn't. I'm saying it is the extent to which they do, because you know, I have friends, right, and I see what happens with my friends, and you know, it is the extent to which they do that I think is, you know, certainly I think it's one of the mistakes. It's one of the mistakes, you know.
Oh, mhm.
That another thing is that, I find that, some women don't, they don't learn to drive, or they didn't learn to drive. You know, maybe they might not have learned to drive, or even if they learned to drive, they did it very sparingly. So, you know, they might drive to work and back, but then after that, if they're going anywhere, it's a spouse that drives. So they you know, they don't get
The
that full
independence.
confidence. They don't get that confidence on the road, that
Mm-hmm.
they can be on the road day and night, sort of a thing. Now, a lot of them may now lose their spouses. Their spouses might pass away, and
Mm-hmm.
therefore it now puts them in a situation where they're not able to go out as much as they would want to go out, because they don't have that confidence of, you know, of being on the road, driving themselves up and down around the place, and
Right.
so I think that is, I think that is
That's one
also
of the mistakes as well. Well,
another, yes, of the
yeah.
mistakes. And
You,
perhaps, perhaps another one is that we just don't go out enough. We don't seek out events enough. And there are a lot of things that go on, a lot of no cost, a lot of low cost events that go on.
so
Um,
what's a typical no cost day for you?
And well, when I talk about no cost and low cost event, for instance, Edna Manley College, right, for the visual and performing arts, um, they have they have a concert once a week, and um, I'm talking now in the context of pre COVID, and of course post COVID, because COVID will be done.
Right,
But
right, right.
they have a lunch hour concert, a free lunch hour concert, once a week.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, it's free, right? They also have, the schools, the different schools have performances when the students, the final year students, are doing as a part of their final year exams. So the drama students will have dramatic performances. The music students will have music performances. The
Mm-hmm.
art student in the visual arts will have exhibitions. and all of these are things that you can go, you can go and you can see and you can enjoy.
So the Edna Manley has a full slate of activities, low cost
A
or no
full
cost.
slate, full
Okay.
slate of activities.
All right. Any other recommendations?
Well, certainly I like the driving. I like the road trips, right? I'm a big road trip person,
Okay.
and I like to gather a couple people, one or two people, and just go on a road trip.
How do you manage
Um,
that? How do you manage? Tell us, the young people, how do you manage the road trip with high gas prices?
that is that's probably a problem at the moment. But maybe you just don't go as frequently as you would want to go. But certainly once every 3 months. Um,
Mhm.
my brother and I, we used to live in Morant when we were babies.
Mhm.
And yeah, my father was at the hospital there. So so we used to live there as babies. So he and I went to Morandi, and we went to the old hospital because we used to live on the hospital compound. So
Mm.
we went to the old hospital. That was before Princess Margaret was built.
Mm.
So we found the old hospital. It is now a school. And we went up there and we talked to a few of the people, yeah, the people living in the area. And we found one or two people who knew when the old hospital was there, was
Mm.
still alive. And they were alive then and still alive now. And then we went down to the new hospital, to Princess Margaret. And then we went to Bowden, where that place where I think it's
Old
banana
war.
boats used to come
Right.
in, and
Old
all of
war.
that.
Mhm.
Yeah, yes, we did all of that.
It was a
Just
road trip down memory lane.
It was a road trip down memory lane.
Nice,
and
nice.
and it was, my brother could even show me at the church, the Anglican church. There's a section of the church, the church yard, where he got stung by a bee or a wasp. So he was able to show me where that happened. That would have been when he would have been about 5 years old or so.
Hmm.
But no, it's that's the kind of thing that you can do.
Okay, awesome.
Road trips, road trips.
Right. As a retirement coach, what are some of the issues regarding retirement in society that you would like to see be erased or debunked, or just to provide more insight about?
I think one of the problems I have, or one of the things that I would like to see, is more targeted activities for seniors. That's one of the things, and I personally think that government should take the lead in this, because you really want to have healthy, happy seniors. You that's what you want, and people who are who still feel that they are of value to the society. And
Hmm.
therefore, I would love to see, for instance, centers for creative activity. Centers buzzing with a senior pop band, a senior steel band, a senior performing arts group. I would love to see masters leagues in all the sports. I would love to see a big seniors athletic championships, like champs.
As seniors, boys and girls champs.
well,
Interesting.
some form of an athletics championship, right?
Okay.
For seniors, because you have senior sports in other countries. We
Right.
have
There
seen,
are.
yes, some big
Mm-hmm.
senior world games, senior games, and all that
Yes.
sort of thing.
Yes.
I would
Yes.
just
Yes.
love to see. I would love to see that kind of an initiative in Jamaica. And as I say, I just think that there are certain things that government should do and certain things that the private sector should do. And I just believe that that is something that government should do, because it would set the tone, and make people recognize that people are valued no matter what age they are.
And
Because
seniors are active well into retirement age.
exactly,
Hmm.
can you
They're not
imagine
they're not
you
bedridden.
can you can imagine Usain Bolt running in the seniors championship, when he's 65 years old,
Yes, 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 yes. And
and,
and
and
we
still and
and we
still
do have
breaking records.
Olympians. Yeah, we do have Olympians who are now seniors who could actually compete in these races to see if they still have it, like a Donald Quarry.
Like a Bert Cameron, right? And
Exactly, exactly.
we could bring Merlin Otti. We could bring Merlin Otti down
Right.
from Slovenia.
Hmm. Let's see if
Yes,
they can still win the 100 meters, right?
yes. So I think, I really think that we need to do a little bit more than we do. I should just mention this, and this might not be so relevant, but it is something that is of concern. I have been noticing over the last several months that there are a lot more um, older men I see on the sidewalk as
Yes.
I drive around,
I've noticed that too.
homeless,
Yes.
homeless. Um, and I'm saying to myself, what is happening? What is happening here? Uh, Everywhere you go, I'm seeing an older man out there on the sidewalk, and that bothers me. That bothers me,
Hmm.
and it
Hmm.
should bother us as a society.
I agree with you. So definitely more activities for seniors to help the senior community to remain healthy, happy, and as you say, to feel loved and cherished that they are still a
And
part
more
of
care.
society.
Yes.
So what would you prefer? Do you prefer your years 0 to 60 or your years 60 to now?
If I prefer my,
Your age,
sorry.
yes, your age group. Do you prefer your age group of 0 to 60 or 60 to now?
That's a tough question. And I tell you why it's a tough question, because really, how I live now is really an extension of how I used to live. Because much of the things that I do now, I used to do earlier. For instance, this music that I'm telling you about, okay, it might be the violin and the steel pan now, and well, I still play the organ. From a child, I learned the piano, and then as a teenager, young adult, I learned to play the organ, and so I've been playing piano and organ for pretty much most of my life. But
Mm,
now I have just transitioned to other instruments, just extended to other instruments. So it's really a transition. Um, in terms of the writing, the creative writing that I do now, I used to write things for family functions, office functions. Like if somebody is retiring, I will write a poem, or I will
Mhm.
write something, you know. And so my writing now is really just an extension of that. I've always been somebody who has been involved in the church, and in different organizations and activities. And it's the same thing that I do now in terms of volunteering and so on. I'm a justice of the peace now, and I work in that area. And there are other.
Your days sound very full. How do you find the time to manage it all?
Boy, I'm telling you,
I
I
thought the
my my
retirees were resting and doing
my
crossword puzzles. I'm joking.
no, 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 no,
I'm
no,
joking.
because I'm a board member of the CCIP. I'm also a board member of a couple of other organizations. And
And
so,
you're a retirement coach.
we have board meetings and all that. I do presentations for some companies. For instance, the other day I did a presentation at the Ministry of Tourism had a retirement seminar, and
Mm.
it was wonderful, because you know what was wonderful about that? Because they had people there who were from 20 up. They
Okay.
didn't wait on they didn't wait until people are 60 and almost out of the organization. They actually opened it up to anybody. So you had
Okay.
younger people there.
Let's talk about that then. Why are you so passionate for young people to start retirement planning as soon as they enter the workforce and not wait until they're pre-retirees?
Because that it is going to save you. It is going to save your retirement years if you start early. All right. If you wait too late, you're not gonna have enough money. You're not gonna accumulate enough money, right?
Mhm.
You're going to live a lifestyle that does not make you healthy. You're going to live an unhealthy lifestyle. If I had known that I would have ended up with all these medical problems, if I had known earlier on, if somebody had talked to me about retirement when I was 20 years old and told me that retirement was not just planning for the money, but you also have to plan to keep yourself healthy, I would have learned to cook.
Mhm.
I did not learn to cook, and therefore I was eating all my meals out, and
Mhm.
therefore living an unhealthy lifestyle in respect of that aspect of it, which ended up having my having all of these medical issues.
Later on in life.
So later on in life, right? So it is important for younger people to understand what the considerations, the key things that they have to bear in mind, and they have to plan for, and they have to organize themselves around, and the disadvantages of certain things, that they have to ensure that they can mitigate those disadvantages,
Right.
and the
Mhm.
advantages that they can know that they can really enhance those
Mhm.
advantages. So it's
Yeah.
important to know that from your young. And once you know that, then you will always be purposefully, whatever you are doing, you will always be doing with it, bearing in mind that destination. This is why I call the second book Retirement, the Journey and the Destination.
Okay.
Because I'm saying that you want to envision yourself down the road when you are in retirement, and envision how do you want to be? What do you want to be doing with yourself at that point?
Right,
How do you
right.
how do you want to be living at that point? And therefore, you have to start planning to do that. You see,
As a
one of
young person, I must say I take your warning because you said something so critical. It's not only about the financial planning, it's not only about pension, but it's planning holistically for your retirement years in terms of your well-being, your mental, your physical, your social well-being as a retiree, what you want that to look like. So basically you're saying create a vision board for your
you have
retirement
to
years from
yeah,
from as early as possible.
create your vision board, and then and the good thing about when you start young people starting that early is as your circumstances change, then you change along with it. You make
Right.
adjustments and so on
Mhm.
as your circumstances change. You might get married, and therefore the fact that if you're a woman and you get married and have a spouse, there are certain things that you probably don't have to be as fervent about because of these changed circumstances. So you can take that energy and put that energy into something else. You see?
Right.
Uh-huh. So you
Thank you
just you
so much.
just
I think the viewers are agreeing with you, Mrs. Reid-Waugh. One viewer says, Miss Olivia McDonald, I'm loving this conversation. When a country sees to the well-being of its most vulnerable, elderly and young, that country is well on its way. Jamaica needs to do that. Thank you for your comments, Miss McDonald. So important. So we spoke about the importance of planning for retirement from as early as possible. For those who were unable to do that, and maybe they did as well, but speak to our women, our pre-retirees women who are now in that ripe age, in their 50s, about to enter the golden years of retirement.
well, if you read my book, right? If you read my book, I have a big confession there. And the
Can you bring it a little
confession is,
closer? Bring it a little closer to the camera so we can actually see the title of it.
I,
Retirement, the journey
the
and the
journey and
destination,
the
a planet life.
destination.
All right, so you said there's a confession.
Yes. And I made that confession right in the first chapter that I did not plan for retirement.
Okay.
In actual fact, it just came upon me because of illness. Because of illness, I had to stop working. So I make that confession. So
Honesty is good.
there are going to be people who are in their 50s and early 60s and all that, who will um would not have made the plans that they ought to have made. But the life life is of such that you can take lemons and make lemonade. And
Mm-hmm.
I say, look at me. What I did was I used my skill and my all the competencies that I had developed and my knowledge, and I had done a lot of traveling. For instance, I had done a lot of traveling when before. So
Mm-hmm.
that whole chapter on traveling, I could have done it from my own experience of going all over the world.
Different
Um,
destinations, right?
exactly. Well, in the first book, that chapter that I did there on travel, I could have done it from my experience. So there are a lot of competencies and skills that we have developed over the years. and they can still work for you. You can still work part-time. You can still do stuff. You can still earn. You can still do stuff to earn. One of the good
Mhm.
things about the internet is that the internet has opened up a whole new way of doing things and
Right.
enabling us. We can even earn from our skills on the internet.
Right.
And so life is not over. Even if you had not planned for it, even if you had not been as diligent as you ought to have been, it is not the end of your story, right? You can write a book,
There must
and
be a story somewhere.
you can write a book. This is my first book, and you can use it to pivot, because this was the first book I wrote, Retirement and the Journey, and sorry, Retirement and New Adventure. And
Hmm.
this book opened doors for me. This book, I was able to go to St. Martin and speak at their book fair, and I had a whole workshop on retirement. I have been to Miami, to the East Ridge Retirement Village, and made presentations there. I went to Sarasota, the Barnes and Noble, and did a book signing there. And, I engaged people and had a great session about retirement. I've done that at the South Bay Library in Cutler Bay, Florida,
Hmm.
and had so really you life is not over.
And this book
um,
is what you wrote in retirement. That's important to point out. It was written while you were in retirement. It was not written
yeah
before
it was
retirement.
it yeah it was written in 2016,
Hmm.
and I retired in 2011.
There you go. Hmm.
So what I did was I used my experience of retirement, in addition to all of the skills and competencies and knowledge that I had garnered over the years, and I just put them together and got me a great book. You see, and even the Caribbean Today news magazine in Miami, they reviewed the book, and they said that the book is turning people's perception of retirement upside down by portraying it as a sort of non-stop period of non-stop renewal and activity. So yes, there are things you can do. I This is something that I keep harping on, the fact that you have stories. You can do short stories, you can do poetry, and all of that from the experiences that you have had throughout your life. So you're able to do that. You're able to just take all of your life experiences, and you can do some humorous short stories. You can do poetry. You can enter the JCDC poetry competition, and all of that. So there's a lot that we can do. I noticed that our host seems to have disappeared. Oh dear, oh dear. Um, huh. I think we have lost Shelly Ann. We have lost Shelly Ann. But just talking about retirement in general, what you want to do is you want to make these years count. That's the important thing. You want to make these years count. You don't want to sit down as if you are in a departure lounge, just sitting down waiting to drop out of this earth. And there are a lot of things that you can do that you can make these years count. As I say, mentoring, volunteering, learning some new skills. There are places that you can go. YouTube on the internet. If you go to YouTube and you Google, or you put in anything at all, how to do X or how to do Y, you will find a whole host of information coming up that you can learn, all the new skills that you can learn. So I see our host is back.
Thank you so much for keeping our viewers engaged. I had a break in transmission because there was a power cut. What is
I
Jamaica without a
realize
power
that.
cut? Awesome. Awesome of you, Mrs. Reid-Waugh. I really thank you for keeping the company of our viewers. Before we wrap up the conversation, we'd love to have a little reading from your newest book, your bestseller. Let us just tell the viewers about that. In your 70s
Oh,
and have a best-selling book, bestseller on Amazon. Tell us about that journey.
well, what happened is that on the launch day, the book was downloaded quite a bit, and therefore it was able to rise to bestseller status. So the ebook, that is the ebook. So right.
Wonderful. And quite
So
a few of our viewers are saying congratulations. Miss Faye Gray says, Mrs. Reid-Waugh, on your journey. You look so
thank,
refreshed, as if you're just ready to go to work.
thank, thank you very much. And if any of your viewers are thinking of writing a book and want to get some tips as to what you can do, certainly you can just reach out to me. I am on all the platforms. Just put in Patricia Reid-Waugh, and I'm on Facebook, I'm on Instagram, I'm on LinkedIn, and yes. So
Yes,
you wanted
she,
to hear.
she's a
you-
she's a senior socialite who is not afraid to take on social media.
I, I'm on Instagram where the little children are, and
Right.
and and that is another thing that I'm gonna recommend to my seniors. You stay in touch with the young people, right? They keep you refreshed, all right, and
So that's
and
your
and they
secret.
keep they keep your mind active, and they also teach you a lot of stuff, right? So they teach you, you can learn a lot of stuff about the internet, and all of that. So you stay
Awesome.
stay in touch with those young people, right? Don't criticize them so much, and really, really,
Intergenerational exchange of knowledge.
yes, yes.
Awesome.
The intergenerational connection is very important. You said you wanted to hear something from my book.
Yes, yesterday was World Poetry Day, and I believe a few days ago it was also World Book Day, and today is
and
World Water Day. It's
and,
Women's History Month. There's so much
and
to
story
celebrate in March. So,
and World Storytelling Day was on Sunday.
right. So, all right,
World Storytelling Day was on Sunday.
let's hear
And
a little story.
no, no, well, I didn't have any story prepared here, but you asked me for reading, and since we have a predominantly senior audience, let me read this part. The last chapter in my second book is called Your Legacy. When you leave this earth, what marks will you leave behind? What have you added to the total human experience? If you plan to work to create a physical means of presenting your life through your eyes, the shapes, colors, and materials that you choose and your methods of workmanship will make their own additional comment on who you were. No two people's experiences are the same, and this is part of what guarantees that we can all learn from each other. It is important to tell our stories, not only to help others, but because they help us to see ourselves more clearly. Just the process of choosing our favorite moments and what sort of frame and emotion we give to our history when we share it with others can help us to realize that what really matters. Don't let your unique take on this crazy world die with you.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. What will be your legacy? Do not allow this crazy world to kill you. Awesome. Thank you so much for that tip. And one final question as we go, just give a shout out to the seniors, give an encouragement to the seniors. What will be your final word, your final encouragement to our seniors
Well,
as a retire?
my final encouragement is to continue learning. Remember, lifelong learning is what we are all about. I just did a social media management course and a digital marketing course. So it, just lifelong learning. And as I say, you can learn through YouTube. You can learn through a number of channels that you're able to learn. I know you, for instance, Shelly, and you also teach certain things. You have these little courses, little experiences that people can learn certain skills and all of that. I remember when you did the thing at
Edna Manley. The
no,
Edna
yeah,
Manley.
when you were a student and you did it at the National Council for Senior Citizens.
Oh,
And I
right.
remember,
Yeah.
I remember that exhibition there of the work
Right.
that they had put out. I'll never forget that exhibition. Some lovely artwork and all that, that you can actually build on. Do you know that you can become an artist just by
Mm-hmm.
starting now?
Mm-hmm.
Even now. Yes, yes.
And become
So
a bestseller author like Mrs. Reid-Waugh, a Jamaican who is an international bestseller. Anything is possible. Take care
yes,
of that legacy.
all things are possible. And I did not study literature
Creative
at
writing.
university. At
Right.
university, I did mathematics and I did accounting. You see, so
Mhm.
anything is possible. Folks,
Age has
anything
no
is possible.
limits.
Anything that you have ever thought in your life that you have wanted to do, um, and you never got a chance to do it, um, now is the time for you to do it.
Okay. Where can we find your book?
Um, Both books are at Reader's Bookshop in Ligani Plaza, Reader's Bookshop, and at the University Bookstore. And the first book, Retirement and New Adventure, is also at the Pegasus gift shop at the Pegasus Hotel.
Mhm.
So,
And
yeah.
they're okay, so those are for the local bookstores, but they're also on Amazon too, right?
And they're also, yes, they're also, both of them are on Amazon,
Can you show
and
them to us one
it's,
last time?
yeah, incidentally, I also have copies because I always keep a stock because people always want it autographed. So I always have a stock of my books. This is the first one, retirement,
Retirement, new
a new
adventure.
adventure, and this is the most recent one.
The bestseller, Retirement, the Journey and the Destination, a planning guide.
Right, right.
Both written
The
in your
the ebook
retirement years.
the ebook bestseller.
Ebook
Yes, the
bestseller.
ebook bestseller. Uh-huh.
Okay. Well, I have nothing more to say, Mrs. Reid-Waugh. As one of our viewers, Miss McDonald says, I want to be like you. I completely enjoyed this conversation. You have given me some gems as I start to prepare for retirement years. Thank you so much. And thank you to our viewers for being online. We will definitely keep you posted as to further golden conversations. Remember, it's every second and fourth Tuesday right here at Golden Designs on YouTube. Thank you so much for joining with us. Thank you so much, Mrs. Reid-Waugh, for
It was
bringing
a
your
pleasure.
yes, for bringing your warm smile, your bright insight, and just your overall optimism as it pertains to retirement. And we wish you all the very best in all your endeavors. We look forward to more adventures from
Thank
Mrs.
you very
Patricia.
much. Thank you.
Okay, do have a good evening now. Take care. Bye bye.
Bye. Bye.